Hey guys, welcome to a presentation on the muscular system. We'll have a look at a few different things like the functions and the types of muscles, and then we'll actually have a look at some muscular anatomy. So first up, functions of muscle. One of the main ones obviously is to create movement. So skeletal muscles will pull on bones. They use them as a lever so our limbs and torsos can move. Next is maintaining posture. So you wouldn't be able to sit upright, you wouldn't be able to stand with some secret muscles working away. You're not even noticing that they're working. So core muscles such as your abs and your glutes and those sorts of muscles are keeping you upright. They also help maintain the body structure, so making sure your body doesn't actually collapse in on itself. And last but not least is maintaining bodily function. So the muscles not only worry about movement, but they also help with things like circulation, so muscles in the arteries and the blood vessels. They're also found in the digestive system, so they help the function called peristalsis, and also with breathing, the intercostal muscles in between your ribs, they help expand and contract the rib cage and help lungs breathe. So types of muscles, there's 3 different types. The first one and the most popular one is skeletal, and that means that the skeletal muscles will be the ones that you use to move with. They move your skeleton, and they have a really stripy sort of appearance. There's a picture on the left there for you, because they run the length of the muscle mostly. Then there's smooth muscle. Smooth muscle is used in the digestive system. There's that word again, peristalsis. So that means that it contracts in wave forms, and that pushes along the food and the wastes. You don't have a choice over this happening, it just happens, and that's involuntary. If you had a choice whether to digest food or not, you probably wouldn't be alive today. And last of all, cardiac muscle, and that's the only sort of muscle that's found in your heart. And a key feature of that, it doesn't fatigue easily. I mean, if your heart muscle got as tired as, say, your biceps did when you did some bicep curls, you'd probably be dead again, because you need your heart to keep pumping until you're about 80. So if it already got tired, you wouldn't be pumping much blood at all. Alright, so there's different fiber arrangements. So this will depend on whether the muscle is used for strength, whether it's used just for stabilizing, whether it's used just to hold things in place, and that sort of thing. So there's different types there. A is a fusiform type, and that one is just found in your biceps. So you can just see the muscle fibers will run the entire length of the muscle, a nice plain muscle belly, and it's a really simple muscle. B is a parallel sort of muscle, and that's found in your abs, or rectus abdominis, and that allows for a nice tight curl in contraction. C is a convergent type of muscle, and that means that all the muscle fibers will converge into one tendon, and that can be found in your pecs. So your pecs are spread out quite wide, but then they converge into one point up near your shoulders. Unipennate is the type of muscle that will branch off to one side of a tendon, and that an example of that is the Semimembranosus, and that's found in your leg, in the back of your leg. E, bipennate, similar to unipennate, but it's got the word bi, which means 2, so it branches off 2 directions from the tendon, and an example of that is rectus femoris, and that one is found in your quads. Multipennate, so that's several different branches coming off from tendons, makes for a powerful muscle, and an example of that is your deltoid, or your shoulder muscle. And a circular muscle that helps hold an area in place. It's really only found in a few areas of your body. An example there is orbicularis oculi. 10 points for anyone who comes to class knowing where that is, and it's pretty easy because it actually looks like the area that it surrounds. Okay, so looking at muscular anatomy, we'll have a look at the muscles on the left side first. So you've got A, which is trapezius. Now most of the trapezius is on the back, but you can see a little bit if it covers your region between the shoulder and the neck. The deltoid is the big, strong muscle that sits on your shoulder. C is the quads there. Now that's not labeled all of the quads. Quadriceps is a group of 4. Quad means 4. So there's 4 muscles running through there, but for our purposes, we just need to know quads. D is tibialis anterior, and you can remember that because the bone, the tibia, runs along there as well. So tibialis anterior, anterior means the front. And E is the front portion of the soleus. The soleus mainly runs around the back and the side, but you can see a little bit of it from the front. And looking at the other side now, we'll go down the list. So K is that really strong neck muscle, sternocleidomastoid. If you cut that one, you probably wouldn't have any neck support whatsoever. J is your pectoralis major, or just your pecs, and they're your basic chest muscles. I is your biceps. Obviously, doing a biceps curl, that's that main muscle you see. Boys comparing muscles, usually it's the biceps and the deltoids. Rectus Abdominis is just your abs, and the Sartorius is a thin band of muscle that runs across from the hip on the outside to the knee on the inside, and that sort of stretches across your quads, but it's not part of the quads. And gastrocnemius, you can see a little bit of it shining through from the back again. It's mainly a muscle that sits at the back of your leg, but you can see a bit at the front. All right, muscular anatomy from the back. So you've got the A, the trapezius again. So that main shape there is like a triangle almost. You can see that pointing down the shape of the back. B, again, you can see the deltoid because it covers both the front and the back of the shoulder. It wraps right around. C is the triceps, obviously the opposite to the biceps. D is the set of hamstrings. So again, there is more than one muscle that make up the hamstrings, but we'll just call it the group. I is the latissimus dorsi, or the lats. So they're the sort of muscles that you'd be training if you did lat pull downs in the gym. Gluteus Maximus, obviously there's 2 others, gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, but they're in different layers within the glutes. So gluteus maximus, maximus means biggest, it's on the surface, it's the main muscle there in your bum. G again is pointing to the hamstring region. I'm not going to point out different muscles in there because you simply don't need to know them until first year uni. F is the main region of the gastrocnemius, so that's your main calf muscle. So if you twitch your calves or you feel that fleshy part at the back of your leg, then that's the gastrocnemius. And the Achilles tendon is down the bottom there in white. If you cut your Achilles tendon, you're not going to be walking for a very long time. All right, so the summary of the tute today. So you've got muscles having several different functions. So don't forget that they're not only used for movement, they're used for digestion, they're used for breathing, to pump heart or to pump blood through the heart. And then there's 3 types of muscle. So there's skeletal, which moves your skeleton or your bones. And then there's cardiac, which again is in your heart. And then there's smooth, which is in your intestines. And there's many types of fiber arrangement. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just be aware that there are different types. So that's the end of the tute today. Hopefully you've gotten down some notes. Try and memorize those different muscles for class, and I hope you tune in next time.